we've got our good buddies associated with Ron Silk. And, of course, never count out Phil Moran. But that's not the only story. All of a sudden, midseason, who became hotter than hot? The story is there, Patrick Emmerling. Emmerling was fast today in practice as well.
So you have three competitors just listed, and you have Patrick Emmerling, the final one that you mentioned, as probably the hottest driver in the on the Modified Tour right now. He currently leads the Granite State Short Track Cup standings by 3 over the inaugural champion, Matt Hirschman. Then you have Ron Silk, only 4 points behind. You can see Jake Johnson, who is not in this event. And then there's Austin Beers, who could be the sleeper here this afternoon. Both those drivers tied for 4th.
Then we go back to 6. It's Craig Lutz, 8 off the pace. Justin Bonsignor, same story there. Trevor Catalano, back in the 8th position, 9 points back. Brian Roby, one of the hometown favorites here. He is back in the 9th spot. He's not running today. And then Tommy Catalano will pick up at the rear of the field.
That just goes to show how deep this field is with Justin Bonsignor, who has led all drivers with 5 wins at Monadnock Speedway in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, to be that deep in the field. 6, but still have a great shot at the Granite State Short Track Cup.
Let's go back and recap what we've seen this season already. It all began back at the New Smyrna Speedway, the pride of the South, when Ronnie Silk was the dominant factor there. He secured the impressive victory. When it went on to a super speedway, Andy, it was Richmond, and Justin Bonsignor showed that Ron Silk wasn't getting far out of his sight. On to Thompson Speedway, the traditional super speedway of the North. Ron Silk was back in winning form. We came to Monadnock. You know that story.
Jake Johnson.
Yes, and what a job that young man did. Jake went back to school. He's recovering from an injury that took place at Thompson Speedway. What a talent he is. He'll be back for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Jake, one of the young stars of the Whelen Modified Tour. And then you have Craig Lutz, who has a lot of laps on this racetrack. He's led a ton here and can certainly break through. And that's another thing about this race. The first 2 races at Monadnock Speedway have given us first-time winners.
That's an amazing accomplishment. Our direction heads on to the racetrack, and among the first cars to come out for qualifying for this event, brought to you in part by Winchester Fair, it is car number 10. Bob Reese, the Reese Racing Enterprises car, the ironlisting.com machine. This gentleman only made a few visits to the Whelen Modified Tour, but every time out he seems to be getting stronger and better. First time on the clock. We'll be clicking off in just a moment. Reese runs the upstate New York marketplace. Here he comes, back off turn number 4. First time on the clock, 12.943. Earlier, when we talked to the drivers, trouble now. Gets a wheel down on the bottom of the racetrack, cuts it too short, and it's a costly situation. There is no question about that. Reese will have to settle. He is considered a rookie with only 1 lap of time. When we talk to the different teams, we've got some spoilers into the mix. Andy, and among those spoilers are Woody Pitcat. You know why he's a spoiler? He's not running for the points. You can also say the same thing for some of the top local drivers here, and you've got a bunch of good ones.
Tell you, one of the things about the Granite State Short Track Cup that has really turned on the Northeast is the fact that the hero from the backyard, the family team, can shine with the upper echelon of open-wheel competitors throughout the Northeast. And we've seen that time and time again in the short history of the Granite State Short Track Cup, this being year number 3. Drivers like Matt Kimball, drivers like Brian Roby, and Nate Wenzel appearing onto the scene here in 2024. Drivers who compete on a local level, competing with the regional stars they've looked up to for years.
You know, and this great racetrack has a huge history. It goes way, way back to when Kenny Bouchard, the legendary driver that became a Cup driver and a Rookie of the Year status, went to the big time. It all began right here as he dominated the racing action in the first events held for then the Whelen Modified Tour. From then on, things have changed, and we've seen a lot of progression. There's no question about that as we go back and we look at our records and see who did what and why. Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer. He became a national broadcaster as well. he won the second event held.
Interesting stat on Jimmy Spencer. He won from the deepest starting position that anybody has won in Whelen Modified Tour racing across the time that we've had racing here at Monadnock Speedway. But that number was only 10. So nobody has started worse than 10th and won a tour race.
They certainly have not. 8th and 9th is what some people would think might have happened, but that certainly did not happen. Going back into the stats, Mighty Mike Stefanik, one of the all-time greatest modified drivers. He was the man that won the third event. And what can be said about the Reggie Ruggiero, driving Mario Fiore's race car, he would win the fourth stop of the Whelen Modified Tour. And then a guy that kind of would be considered by some as an underdog, not by me. He turned more laps and ran more races than anybody else. Jamie the Jet Tomeno.
The 1990 champion of the Whelen Modified Tour continues to be a presence. And, yes, led a lot of laps, ran a lot of laps, and, has that big breakthrough.
And, of course, when you put the top modified drivers in the country, the food chain order to some runs like this. Richie Evans is atop the board, but right there with him is TC Ted Christopher. Here's a hometown boy that did good. He has been a factor all year long here at the High Banks. Let's see what he can do as our second car out.
It is Nate Wenzel in number 81. Now, last night he finished second in the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Championship. He was the defending champion. He's 20 years old, running with the family team, and he is a perfect example of the ladder system in the Granite State Short Track Cup. Drivers that compete in these three races that had really no plans to run the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. He made his debut in July. He bobbles a little bit in turn number 3, but pulls the car off at turn number 4. White flag out. We await the time. It's 12.878 for Nate Wenzel. Wenzel looks to pick up some time and certainly was on a roll for the second half of the season in the Mad Dog Modifieds, picking up 5 wins. Checkered flag out. He stays at 12.891 for Nate Wenzel. It's the new fast time, so he's the trending leader in a different modified than he ran last night.
When we talked to the teams, they said you have to be in the 11-6 bracket if you want to be starting in the front pack of cars. Independent runner from Calverton, Long Island, New York. The Bowie One Seafood Restaurant machine for Ken Heggie. Heggie driving the Greg Gorman prepared automobile. It's a Fury chassis. Now, this driver's an independent runner. He's had over 100 career starts. That's pretty darn impressive. Wow. First time on the clock as he heads down into turn number 1. Remember, a lot of these competitors are trying to figure out the magic of this asphalt. And magic it is off turn number 4. White flag comes out, 12.515. I guess that theory of a 12.6 just went out the window, because they're going to be getting faster each and every time by.
New fast time on a nice, cool racetrack after that little bobble in turn number 3 from one of the other competitors, and a new trending leader as 12.415 is the time of record for Ken Hagee on the racetrack now. It is car number 82, fan favorite Woody Pitcat. You brought up Woody with a number of great runs here in the Whelen Modified Tour at Monadnock Speedway. Woody Pitcat off of turn number 2.
Here's the Cinderella story of this driver. Danny Watts owned the race car. He's had many great famed drivers sitting behind the wheel. Teddy Christopher was one. Then it went on to other drivers like Lutz. And then it went on to Woody Pitcat. Pitcat is sizzling hot on the Tri-Track Monaco Modified Series. First time up on the board, 12.454. Pitcat setting in second. Looks to pick up the pace. Will he do it, Andy, in lap number 2?
12.327, brand new leader, Woody Pitcat, with a top 5 here at Monadnock Speedway, but more importantly, 5 top 10s in Whelen Modified Tour competition. Now, earlier this year, this car went to victory lane, or this team went to victory lane,
correct,
but they will be doing it with a different driver tonight if they're able to back it up.
There has been 2 different drivers since then. Among them were Bobby Santos, one of the top open-wheel drivers in the country. Today, it's Tyler Ripkema, driving the Boulder Racing Enterprises. Greg Fournier prepared USNE. See how this all fits in? The Northeast Drilling Machine. This guy's just shy of taking his first victory here on the Whelen Modified Tour. Good time, 12.353, among the quickest first laps. He's up to second. Let's look at lap number 2.
It was all about that entry.
Yes, he was.
Going to get him to the top with a time of 12.301. Tyler Ripkema, who has a lot of success here at Monadnock Speedway, he could be a underdog here tonight. Anthony Cecily in car number 19 will be the next to take time. Cecily in the orange machine, looking to break through with his first top 5 finish at Monadnock Speedway, has certainly shown speed in his time here. Gets the green flag, and we're underway.
Down into turn number 1, Cecily. He's a guy that has become a late event closer. He comes on very strong. Lap number 1, he looks to move to the top of the charts. They're getting quicker on the first lap, 12.389.
Hey, Ben, what was that? You said you needed a 12.6 to be competitive?
That's what they told us. They were wrong because the conditions are ideal. Cool air means speed, and that's what you're witnessing here at Monadnock Speedway. Second lap, a good one, puts him in the second, 12.304.
Still up on top, it is Tyler Ripkema, followed by Cecily. Then there's the number 82 of Woody Pitcat. Ken Heggie with a great qualifying run thus far. He sits in 4th, followed by car number 81 for Nate Wenzel.
Here's the guy that everybody's keeping their eyes on. Why is that? He's running up front of the points. No surprises here. Ryan Stone, the crew chief, moved the entire racing operation down south to where they build the Fury chassis. This gentleman is one of the hottest modified drivers in the country, the Ken Massa Motorsports machine. Phoenix Communication, Justin Bonsignor.
The all-time winner in NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour competition here at Monadnock Speedway. He's won 5. Doug Kobe's won 2. Everybody else has 1 victory. That's how dominant Justin has been. Justin Bonsignor in the Wheeling Granite State Short Track Cup comes in tied for 6th in the championship standings with a time of 12.201. He's now down in the 11-second brackets.
First car to do so. Will it stick? Well, time holds the answer, because guess who's on deck? This isn't baseball. This is what the Whelen Modified Tour is all about. The man that is currently shown among the charts after a victory at Riverhead Raceway.
If there is one Achilles heel in his program, it is Monadnock Speedway. He has had so much rough luck at this facility. 12 races, but has yet to break through with a victory, and he had a nightmare race 1 year ago in the Winchester Fair. He's Ronnie Silk, getting ready to lay down lap number 1.
Ronnie Silk has so anticipated having success at this racetrack. 4 wins in 2024. Down the back straightaway. Lights on the board, about to change, 12.159, 12.102. Good enough for Silk to move into second. If you know a racer like Silk, second is just not good enough.
Well, it depends on the redraw, too. You don't know where these drivers are going to wind up. We will have a redraw amongst a certain number of drivers, a to-be-determined number of drivers, before the start of this one. And how about this local star? We talk about the Granite State Whelen Short Track Cup, promoting drivers moving up to the upper echelon of open-wheeled racing here in the Northeast, and Matt Kimball is a perfect example. He sat on the outside pole for one of these races already. He is a winner of the Winchester 100 Open Modified race by JDV, and is an extremely fast competitor in these tour races. Wouldn't be a bit surprised to see him pull off a top 5 this afternoon. Really low in turn number 4. Here comes his first lap.
First lap on the clock, 12.249. They call him Kid Kimball because he is among the youngest drivers competing currently on the Whelen Modified Tour. Father was a New Hampshire state champion. 12.166 puts him on the podium among the top 3 cars. Kimball did the great job, but off turn number 4 in the cool-down lap. His time on the first lap is the one that he wanted to count. Obviously, it's good enough for the the third fastest position.
And that might be something he's picked up from Brian Roby, who's been known to do that. Even though it's a 2-lap qualifying event and tires at a premium, one thing that we'll talk about throughout the afternoon is tire management, and maybe Matt Kimball is already into tire management. Didn't want to burn him up on the lap.
Here's an independent runner that cut his teeth at the Stafford Speedway, running in the SK Modifieds, one of the most popular divisions in America. He'll be the 10th car out of 21. This gentleman is sitting behind the wheel of car number 15, Joey Cipriano. The Fuel Up Motorsports machine, Ryan Plord is the crew chief. We've seen this driver click off some amazing laps. And
that's one of them.
That's a good lap, 12.165. Good enough for the top 3. That bumps Kid Kimball back to 4. Here's lap number 2. A good one again, 12.094. I guess all the buildup was worth it, Andy, because that puts him into the second spot.
He knocks Ronnie Silk back to spot number 3. Matt Kimball is now 4th, and Tyler Ripkema still sits in position number 5 as we work through qualifying. Car number 84 on the racetrack now. This is Trevor Catalano. Tyler Catalano. Tyler makes his way off of turn number 2.
Sure does. The Catalano family, if there was ever a family in modified racing that deserves the honor of being a competitive family, it is this team. Catalano continues to set a blistering pace down the back straightaway. Bottom of the turn. Comes up wide. White flag is out. 12.195. 12.195. Good enough for position number 5.
And he is not backing off of turn number 4. Checkered flag falls, and it's 12.105. 12.105. That will keep him in spot number 4 for Tyler Catalano.
Here comes the guy that knows how to win here at this racetrack. He sits behind the wheel of the Catalano Motorsports machine, car number 56 for Trevor Catalano. It was a big day at this racetrack when this young talented driver put his foot in the winner's circle on sacred grounds here at the JDV Productions event.
One of the things that we'll talk about this afternoon will be tire management. Another will be pit strategy, and pit strategy played a factor into young Catalano picking up the victory. White flag out. Lap number 1 is a cooker, too. 12.030. That is going to put him inside the top 5. He's actually second.
No surprises here. Will he pick it up? Second lap on the clock. Will he bump Justin Bonsignor? 12.113. Good enough for young Trevor to be second fastest, the defending race winner in the running of today's event.
I thought for a second that he was going to steal the thunder from Justin Bonsignor, and the 5-time winner still sits on the provisional pole. But how about this competitor, car number 60, the winner of the inaugural Granite State Cup, and very much in the thick of this year's battle. This is one of the top talents of this generation. They call him Big Money Matt. He is Matt Hirschman through turns number 3 and 4. Green flag in the air. Let's see what he can do.
It's the PD Motorsports machine, the elite LFR chassis for Matt Hirschman. Hirschman runs this event on the Wheel and Modified Tour. He's had success with it. First lap on the clock for Matt Hirschman. Big money, 11.948. Moves him into second.
He's a 10th and a half off of the point. Can he pick it up? A big entry into turn number 3 gives him a time of 12.801, so not enough to scrape Justin Bonsignor from the top of the board. And again, they will redraw after this qualifying, well, not after qualifying, but before the feature event.
Here is another champion of the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. This guy has won so many titles in supers. He's won a title right here in the MRS Series. John McKennedy Racing, the John Lewinsky Prepared Automobile. That, of course, is Jonathan McKennedy.
He started in go-karts like many of these competitors have, won a bunch of races over at the now-defunct Sugar Hill Speedway in Ware, New Hampshire, moved over to super modified racing. Any discipline that John McKennedy is in, he is going to be lightning fast, as evidenced by his stats. And here he is working lap number 1.
Here's a guy that could make the number 51 move from the top of the charts. Sometimes he's really hot, sometimes he's cold. 12.278. Well, that's medium warm in the bucket of success here this afternoon.
But that car looks so good going into turn number 3, off of turn 4. Fast, but not fast enough. He's going to come away with a time of 12.179. 12.179. That isn't even going to be in the top 5.
Here's one of those Cinderella stories. The owner of the car was a longtime supporter, and that is Mike Davini. Passed away this spring in the competition. His wife, Michelle, brings out the race car. Chris McTarget is the crew chief, and this car is driven by the very talented Anthony Nocella. Last time out for this car, Andy, it took place while running at Richmond. And then just a few days later, Mike Davini had passed.
They have run this car a few times during our regular shows, and it's been great to have it as an addition to the Mad Dog Modifieds. This team looking very strong down the backstretch, and Anthony Nocella certainly knows his way into big moments. He is position number 7 after lap number 1, but look at that, Ben.
Yep, no surprises if you know the history. Anthony Nocella moves to the top of the board, and when you bump Justin Bonsignore off that position, you have something to brag about. Michelle Davini's car is the fastest car so far, 11.898. Here's a guy, consistency is his best suit. He's sitting behind the wheel of a Cam McDermott prepared car. Him and his dad create the magic. The Shalou Motorsports car, it is Kyle Bonsignore.
Kyle has been a model of consistency during the races here at Monadnock Speedway. He is finished mainly between 5th and 7th position for a good number of the events, but he has really picked up his performance this year, and look at that, nearly a 12 flat on lap number 1, 12.050. That's going to put him position number 5. What can he pick up on lap number 2?
Well, it was consistency was his story, 12.071, and Kyle Bonsignore now moves into the top 5. Let's recap it for you. Of the cars out of 16 so far, Anthony Nocella, fast time. Justin Bonsignore is 2nd. Matt Hirschman is 3rd. Trevor Catalano is 4th. And Kyle Bonsignore rounds out the top 5. Here's a kid that has done it all. He is an outstanding crew chief. He is a talented fabricator. And maybe better than all of that, he is a good race car driver. The Newtown Pools Kirchner warehousing car, the Warnick Motorsports car for Stephen Kopsick.
Is it possible, Ben, for your fonts to make your race car faster? Because that 21 looks super, super fast going down the backstretch. Struggled in turn number 4 that time, but look at that, 11.996. I believe that is the first sub-12 second first lap. Let's see if he can back it up here in turn number 4.
I think he can, but no. The story has now suddenly become the first lap is the quicker of the two. Second lap for Stephen Kopsick, 12.024. We are now moving forward up the food chain. The 18th car is about to come out. And like the stories we've told on some of the other cars, here is a guy that could become a mover and shaker. The Riverhead Building Supply. Doug, the crew chief, prepares the automobile of the Goodies Racing Machine. Jason Shepard is proudly posted on the back of this race car. They introduced this tribute a week ago at Riverhead Raceway, and deservingly so. This guy went back behind the wheel of this race car. Andy, for a while, he bounced around at different teams, but once back behind the wheel, he is a contender. He proves it. 11.956. That is good enough for 4th fastest. 4th isn't just good enough in the vocabulary of Lutz.
Craig Lutz will come down with 11.882. Brand new pole sitter for Craig Lutz in the 46.
We should also mention, as we go up the amount of cars, the faster the cars get as we get further in. Here's a youngster. He won at Lancaster Speedway, the G&G Electrical Supply, Dell's Electric Machine. Ronnie Uhouse and Sly Sabin are the men that turn the magic for the KLM Motorsports Machine. The young and talented third-generation driver, Austin Beers.
Austin Beers has not finished out of the top 5 in NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour competition here at the Mad Dog, highlighted by 2 second-place runs. He's right in the thick of things when it comes to the Granite State Short Track Cup, and he's right on the curb off of turn number 4. What kind of lap does Beers throw down? To the top, 11.815.
And to do that on the first circuit, let's see if what we've been seeing on the last 4 cars is true. Will lap number 2 be quicker? Yes, it is. 11.723. An amazing second lap. And car number 64, the Murphy's Irish Angel machine, moves to the top of the chart. Here's a guy that has been really pretty amazing. On a win streak, the Dale Headquest machine. That, of course, is a Fleetworks car. And the driver is Patrick Emmerling. Emmerling has done so well. The crew chief was a crew chief for John McKennedy the year that he took the Whelen Modified Tour title. And Emmerling has to be considered, Andy, Mr. Smooth. He never shows his poker face. First lap, 12.107.
He's going to need to show some more speed down the back straightaway. One of the favorites for the Granite State Short Track Cup. He's the point leader coming into this by 3 tonight. And with a time of 12.028, Patrick Emmerling puts down a decent lap, but not enough to be in the top 5. Officially, he will be 7th on the grid.
There's one gunslinger left in this fight. He'll be the last car to come out. That, of course, is the Rick Kluth machine. The Catalano Motorsports car. Car number 54, the driver from Ontario, New York, Tommy Catalano.
Catalano pulls it off of turn number 2, getting ready to take his first, well, he is on his first lap right now. Slow and actually smooth through turns number 3 and 4. It comes down with a nice, solid time. We await that one. He did look great down the back straightaway. It is Catalano looking for it this time. This time will be his first time of record. And 11.933 for Catalano.
Good first lap time. He isn't done yet. Keeps digging. Final car under the clock. Sunoco checkers waving. 11.911. Good enough for 4th fastest. Let's recap our rundown. Austin Beers, car number 64, will set fast time. A time of 11.723. Craig Lutz, car number 46, second fastest, 11 point. In the second fastest spot, 11.882. Anthony DeSella is 3rd. Tommy Catalano is 4th. Justin Bonsignor is 5. Matt Hirschman is 6th. Stephen Kopsik, the first rookie, is 7th. Patrick Emmerling is 8th. Trevor Catalano is 9th. And Kyle Bonsignor rounds out the top 10. Were there some surprises? I think there were. And that's just an example of what we're going to see later for what we'll call the big dance, the Winchester Fair Shootout.
There were a couple of surprises, and I will call them surprises on the other end. I expected a little bit more out of drivers like, for example, Woody Pitcat. Pitcat, very strong here at this facility, time trialed 18th. Jonathan McKennedy, as you mentioned, he can be hot and cold. He was certainly lukewarm with a 15th fastest time. He was nearly a half second off of the pole. Then there's Ronnie Silk. Remember that no one has won this race starting in, well, only one driver has won starting in double digits. And
that's correct.
That was 10th, Jimmy Spencer. But you got to go back to 1987 for that to happen. Since 1987, everyone who has won a race in the Whelen Modified Tour has started inside the top 10.
Now let's take a sneak peek at what we're going to see later. Because even though you were fastest in time like Austin Beers, guess what? That doesn't mean that you're going to be in the front row. You could end up in the 10th position.
Don't tap me like it could be me. They don't want me out there. But the thing about Austin Beers, too, you bring him up, he is the one that could be the X factor in the stat, but it didn't turn out to be because he started 17th in the spring. He finished in second, so he could have thrown that way off of our stat. But he finished up in second spot at the beginning of the year to Jake Johnson.
Look at the great shot we're getting from out of the paddock area. Here's a look of the redraw procedure. The fastest qualifying spins, and that will determine if the top 4, 6, 8, or 10 qualifiers will redraw for starting positions. Now, let's take a look at the redraw, Andy. Positions will be picked based on qualifying results. Now, earlier this season, we saw Matt Hirschman. Boy, was he upset.
No, I've never seen him that mad. He is as stoic as they come. But I was down there for it, and I did not want any of that heat.
And remember, he's okay until you put money in front of him. He likes money.
So can't wait for that. You'll be able to see that unfold when we do the driver introductions as we continue with the Winchester Fair, which has so many different races under the banner. Of course, we've been talking about the headliner, the 200-lap race by the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, powered by USNE Power. But we're going to stick with the open wheel and bring back DJ Gerard to call this race. This is the Pro 4 event, 4-cylinder modifieds, and they have put on a couple of great shows in qualifying. Can't wait to see the combined field as we get ready for their feature event.
Yeah, your starting lineup for this Pro 4 modified event. It's going to be Brad Osgood up on the front row in the 00 machine. To his outside will be the 73 of John Provost. Inside row number 2, that's going to be the 37 of Fast Eddie. To his outside, that's the 03 of Sophia Ashford. Inside the next row, that's going to be the 4XL of Jack Dumas. To his outside, that's Robert Chardy Jr., who is obviously the man to watch here in the Pro 4 Modifieds. Then it's going to be the number 15 of Mo Denner. To his outside will be the 50 of Peter Schwartz. Then it's going to be the 72 of Dana Darlington. And then starting shotgun on the field, that's the 24 Vermont of Ben Ashford. 25 laps the distance here for the Pro 4 Modifieds. Brad Osgood picked up a heat race win here earlier on in the afternoon. Looking to back that up in the feature event.
These guys look small, but, man, they give you big speed and a huge show. 25 laps the distance, as you just heard, in the Winchester Fair, powered by USNE Power.
So the 73 of Provost trying to jump the start just a little bit here.
Oh.
Green flag will come out, and he's going to get a big jump. Not sure if we're going to allow that one to continue on, as Brad Osgood will be on the bottom. He's going to try to get back to the back bumper. We're going to stay clean and green so far. So the 37 of Fast Eddie trying to come up through, get underneath the Brad Osgood machine. Now he'll be under attack by Jake Dumas. Dumas goes underneath Fast Eddie. He's going to pull up side by side down the back straightaway with Rob Ricciardi. Jr. is going to try to push him through.
Inside line looks like the way to go off of turn number 4. Look at Dumas. He slides right up in front of that competitor going into the corner, and now he's got Ricciardi following his footsteps. Basically tire tracks. That's what they're running consecutively in turn number 3.
Yeah, so Jake Dumas now going to go up to second. He's going to drag the 0 of Rob Ricciardi Jr. through with him.
Jake Dumas goes to the top as there's problems for the 73 of Provost. He falls back just a little bit, and now outside of the top 5, even Fast Eddie gets by on the inside, and the battle continues. Well, it's now a battle for the lead. It was a battle for third just a couple of laps ago, but the Robert Chardy machine was so patient following Jake Dumas for a number of laps, and now they're going to fight it out for the top spot.
Yeah, they're going to come up on the Mo Denner machine here, who has been black flagged and severely underpowered. He'll duck down into the infield. So that'll allow Dumas and Ricciardi to continue to battle this out, as they have kind of run away and hid at the front of the field. They are almost a full straightaway out in front of the Brad Osgood machine, who is now coming under attack. But again, the battle is for the lead. Jake Dumas and Rob Ricciardi continue to battle it out down the back straightaway.
They are running 2 distinctly different lines as they go around to the lap to number 72. Off of turn number 4, you can watch the 4 of Dumas, whether he wants to run the inside but just can't, or he's content to ride in groove number 2. That works well for Ricciardi because he wants the bottom side. They get it, or he gets it, and they nearly touch off the corner.
Yeah, now Rob Ricciardi, the last thing you want to do is give Rob Ricciardi in a Pro 4 Modified the preferred lane, as he's going to try to fight for the top. But Dumas staying on pretty strong up on that top side. Hangs on now, will duck in behind. Looks to pull the crossover. Not going to be enough down the front straightaway. Move Rob Ricciardi 10 laps into this feature to the point with a 2 to 3 car length lead already over Jake Dumas.
Rob Ricciardi right there in the top spot. You look back to the battle for third position. Right now, Fast Eddie has it, but he's under attack from Provost, and then there's car number 50. So there's a good one. You can see it come into your screen as they work their way into turn number 1, going around the lap to number 72 of Dana Darlington out of Mansfield, Massachusetts.
Yeah, so again, it's the 37. It looks like it's actually Al Reiser, I believe, is who's in the 37. So the sheet we have here is incorrect, or the ticker is incorrect. But Provost.
If he finishes in third, I'll embarrassingly ask him who he is.
Perfect. That sounds great.
Unless you want to do it. You want to draw the straw?
I'll let you do the embarrassment here for this one.
Thanks, pal.
Yeah, no problem.
I wear it right on my sleeve.
So it is the 37, and then it's Provost and Schwartz. Schwartz coming into the picture here in that 50 machine, as he has come strong on the second half of this feature event. He's going to get right to the back bumper of Provost. They're separated by about a car length and a half down the back straightaway. The 37 Provost, and then the 50 of Schwartz. Nose to tail for third, fourth, and fifth. Provost now drops to the bottom.
Peter Schwartz out of Hanover, Massachusetts, doing a nice job, and he holds right on. He's now going to swing to the top side. He's looking for the 2-for-1 deal, and Provost makes some big contact with someone that could be fast, Eddie. Caution flag is out. Jake Dumas spins.
Your second place car spins to avoid. It'll be interesting to see where they put that machine. But big contact there from the 73 of Provost into either Al Reiser or Fast Eddie. Could be either one.
Could be Fast Eddie Reiser.
Could be Fast Eddie Reiser.
Why not? Let's just combine the names. So Jack Dumas was not the cause of the caution flag. So, yes, it will be interesting to see if he gets his spot back, challenging for the lead. But it shakes things up here in the 25-lap Pro 4 race. Let's check out, for those who are watching at home or want the second screen experience on the Flow Network, get ready to watch the replay. Here's what happened. You can see the two drivers going into turn number 3. Look at the closing rate.
Yeah.
Provost gets right into the back of him. Nice evasive action by car number 50 of Peter Schwartz. And then just on the outside of your screen, you saw the number 4, your second-place competitor, Jack Dumas, spin.
That 37 machine is crinkled up pretty good on that left rear. Unfortunate for the 37.
You know, someone's going to walk away with some big money here today, and it just may be you. How about the 50-50 for those who are here in person enjoying the show? The Winchester Fair right here in Winchester, New Hampshire at Monadnock. Grab yourself a 50-50 ticket. Watch the roll of tickets get smaller and smaller, and the jackpot continues to go up. We gave away hundreds of dollars just last night in our Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series contest, our final one of the season. I know we have a bigger crowd here tonight, DJ, so we're going to give away even more money this afternoon.
The more you buy, the more you can win.
And if you're watching on Flow and you live in an hour, let's just say hour 2 radius of Winchester, New Hampshire, and you like what you see on the TV, and you're like, you know what? We don't have anything going on tonight. Let's go, check out a modified race and also a fireworks show at the end of it. So the Winchester Fair, while it's headlined by the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour and the Granite State Short Track Cup, it's cause for a huge celebration. Whoever wins, whoever's the champion, they will have a fireworks display in their honor.
If you're watching Flow and you decide to come drop Andy or Mai's name, it won't get you anything, but at least we'll know that you came because of Flow.
High five. Actually, the power of spoken word is very strong. If you do make it to Monadnock Speedway because you're watching it on Flow, be sure to tell the people at the ticket gate. They love to hear that we have a crossover of fans, whether you're watching because of your Flow subscription or you're watching in person. We love to know where our fans come from. We have fans from every single state in New England represented here. There are a number of competitors from different states. I think at least 6 different states here for the Modified Tour alone. But we'd love to know where people come from. So if you're watching on Flow and you end up here at the racetrack, tell the people at the ticket window, hey, saw it on Flow. Those 2 boneheads on the mic, I don't remember their names, but I'm here because of I saw it on Flow.
Or if you have the $1,000 to put me in the USNE.
Wait a minute.
USNE.
I get it.
Yeah.
I would raise the price. Don't stick with the 1,000.
So we're going to come back to 10 to go. It'll be Rob Ricciardi and Jake Dumas. They did put him back up on the front row. Ricciardi's going to have a great start on the front row.
I got to tell you, though, I raised more money growing a mustache once than you would be from there. I raised $1,200 for a mustache on a children's telethon.
There you go.
The guy's like, I'm going to keep it. Do you want me to keep it? It's going to cost you some money. And we ended up raising $1,200. So, yes, $10,000 to get you in that bucket.
All right, so we're up to 10.
Yep.
So somebody come up, hand us $10,000, and I'll go be put in the USNE bucket.
The number 0, Rob Ricciardi, continues to lead this race. Dumas has settled back in a second, but we have a new player in third. The 00 has come to party. That's Bradley Osgood.
Yeah, we're watching. If you've got Flo, the 50 of Schwartz, of Peter Schwartz, is showing a little bit of smoke out of the header on the right side there. Or back to the battle for the lead as Rob Ricciardi Jr. has been tracked down by Jake Dumas. Dumas now within about a car length and a half. Now going to be within, again, a car length and a half. Dumas ran him down from about 5 or 6 car lengths back. Now they're going to be nose to tail heading down into turns 3 and 4. Coming to 5 laps to go. 5 to go for Rob Ricciardi. Or can Jake Dumas knock Rob Ricciardi Jr. off of the top of his perch here in the Pro 4 Modifieds?
There are a couple of different battles to watch. They have the one that's for the lead, but also the one for third is quite the dogfight too, with Osgood leading that one. We're going to stay on camera and look at Rob Ricciardi lead by about 2 car lengths exiting turn number 2, and one car going up in smoke. That's the 50 that was in the top 5. This car had been really, really fast for the balance of the race, and a tough break for Peter Schwartz as he now, tries to get out of the way, but the 03 nearly collected for Sophia Ashford.
Yeah, so we're going to come to 2 laps to go here for Rob Ricciardi Jr. and Jake Dumas. That battle has settled down quite a bit, so the battle really is on for third and fourth, as it is the 00 of Bradley Osgood and the 37 of Fast Eddie. It does say Fast Eddie across the top of it, so it is Fast Eddie, but it is Rob Ricciardi Jr. took the white flag down the back straightaway. Will not come into lap traffic here. Checkered flag will fly. Rob Ricciardi Jr. will win it.
Let's watch the battle.
Dumas, and now it is Fast Eddie versus Brad Osgood.
Oh,
Fast
no! Oh, my goodness.
Gigantic hit.
You know what? I saw that happen in 5 seconds before it did. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. Oh, yep, yeah, it's reality.
That was a gigantic hit.
If you, and we'll watch the status of the drivers. It looks like both window nets are down. Rob Ricciardi is going to claim victory in this one. I'm going to head down, and then you'll keep an eye on this one.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I'll keep an eye on that, as John Provost will now be your third-place finisher after a gigantic hit over there for the 00 of Brad Osgood. So Speedway Safety Services on the scene over there rather quickly for Brad Osgood and Fast Eddie. But again, it is Rob Ricciardi Jr. who is the longtime staple here in the Pro 4 Modifieds. And next up will be the 50-lap R&R Open Street Stock competition. As you can see on the screen, there's Rob Ricciardi Jr. coming out of the 0 machine. Everybody let him hear it as he continues to win race after race here in the Pro 4 Modifieds. He will come around to congratulate Jake Dumas on his second-place finish as they talk over some pleasantries of how the car handled and everything else, and I will toss you down trackside to Andy Austin.
It's there, DJ, and it smells like fresh-cut grass down here because, well, a couple of... let's go down to trackside and Victory Land. That's exactly where we're at here, and let me congratulate... flag stand a little bit. Oh, let's freeze. All right, Rob Ricciardi, great job out there this afternoon. Tell me about your day.
Oh, the car was it was really good. It was spot on. I was a little bit snug, but the car was right where it needed to be. And this is my track, man. I love this place. I must have probably 35 wins here. It's just, it really suits my driving style. The new pavement is excellent, and the racing's just unbelievable. So, altogether, it was a really good day, and number 9 on the season.
How about some of the people that got you to Victory Lane here today?
Tim, everything I need to get this thing to Victory Lane week in and week out. My girlfriend, my mother, my father, my buddy Sam, everybody that helps out on this car. It's a team effort, and you win as a team, you lose as a team, and this year we've been winning an awful lot.
Rob Ricciardi is your champion in the Winchester Fair 4 division. Second spot here. Place where people can hear you. Okay, we're going to freeze right here. And tell me about your afternoon, Jake. to Victory Lane here today?
My dad. That's pretty much it.
DMS afternoon. And we go to John Provost finishing in third. John! Man, I didn't expect to see the top. What a wild final lap. Can you take us through what you saw? Very good. How about some of the people that got you to the top three today?
I got to thank my dad, Lenny.
Thank you very much. John Provost finishes in third this afternoon as we are here in Victory Lane. We have the Pro 4 still to come. We also have, and look at this, this is a battered race car, and that's what happens when you lap here. And, of course, the Granite.
Again, as we watch the Bradley Osgood machine